My name is Meg and I'm going to be your helper today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm seeking help, and one of my friends referred me to you. I am having some issues with my husband, and I'm hoping that I can maybe talk to you about that.
Sure. Do you want to go into those issues?
Yeah, so I recently just got promoted at my job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I also just gave birth to my new son.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And all this has just kind of like hit us all at once.
Mhm.
So right now, the issue I have with my husband is that he just does not help and doesn't understand what it's like to have gone through all those months being pregnant, giving birth, getting promoted, having to go back to work, and he just got laid off, so he stays home and he just doesn't want to help with the kids, so we still have them in daycare. He refuses to watch them, and I'm just kind of fed up, and I really don't know what to do to make it better.
Well, those are definitely big life changes to happen at the same time. Must be very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Have you expressed these feelings with him or to him?
I have, and I told him that I felt that he was being lazy and that he needs to play more of a part. His excuse was that, his mother did everything, and, growing up in a Hispanic household, that the man would just, let him cook for her, let him clean, took care of the children. And I told him that I'm not that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect him to play the role as a father and being involved in his children's lives and helping me out, so I'm not doing this all by myself.
Mm-hmm. And what did he have to say to that?
He just will nod his head and agree at the moment and, say, I'm looking for a job, but he's been unemployed for about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think he is looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
Another issue is my parents aren't too happy that I'm with him. They see how he acts and how he's lazy and I'm really involved, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one to really get a divorce. I feel like that's something I've never really wanted, and I really want to avoid that option.
Mm-hmm. Now, have your parents expressed that to you directly, or is it something you've noticed?
So my mom is really straightforward with me.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, on the other hand, is really quiet about it. I don't know if he puts on a show to like keep me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he's really, I don't know, they're like best friends 1 second, then he gets into an argument with him, so they're always back and forth. But my mom just doesn't like him at all.
Mm-hmm. Now, do your parents live nearby? Are they willing to help out with your kids, or?
They're like a half hour away.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to live too far away from my parents. My mom, me and my mom are just really close, so I wanted to stay in the area. And yeah, they're really not that far. I don't plan on moving either. So
That's good. You have a supportive relationship, it seems. So that's good to have. So your husband, you don't think he's been actively looking for jobs?
I really don't think so. I feel like he's, like I said, been saying he's looking, but really he's just sitting home, bumming around, making a mess. And then when I come home, he expects me to clean it and take care of the kids and pick them up. He doesn't even pick them up. I pick them up. And I don't know. I don't know if, he hangs out with his friends all the time. And they're, stay-home dads, but they at least are involved in their children's lives. And, I don't know why he can't be, or why he's just so against it. He didn't have a father growing up, but I thought maybe that would make him want to be more involved in his children's lives.
Was that a conversation you had before you had children?
Well, just meeting his family and meeting his mom. His mom was really nice. You could tell that she was the type to take care of everything when he was a kid. And I don't know, she just treats him like a child still to this day when he comes over and visits her, and she always has food, she's always picking up after him, so he loves visiting her as well. She does live close. But just him acting the way he does has also affected the relationship I had with my mom, which is another stressor for me at the time.
And back to his friends, you say that they're also stay-at-home dads?
They are. He has like two group of friends. So he has his work friends, and then he had the friends that he met at the gym, and they're, you know, his single buddies that he hangs out with, and then you have the stay-home dads that he hung out with. He met those guys at work. But, you know, lately I have been noticing that he is hanging out more with the single guys and with the stay-home dads, and that's mostly because they're with their kids during the day and not hanging out. But he wants to hang out all hours of the day and go out at night and just leave me with all the responsibility. And it's hurting us financially as well.
Now, was he behaving this way when he was employed, or do you think that this is just simply related to the unemployment?
He's always acted this way. I've noticed that he didn't really drink too much, but when he did, it was a lot, and then he would kind of just lose control and down spiral for like a couple of months, and then, you know, he'd see how it upset me, and then he'd come back and fix it, and then make all these promises. So, I mean, when he did get fired was around the time, you know, he was hanging out with his single friends, and they went to the bar and he drank, and he came home drunk that night, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll brush it off. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, he ended up losing his job, and now he goes and hangs out with these guys all the time and goes to the bar at least 3 nights out of the week, and then he hangs out with his other friends, and, you know, they go out and watch, you know, sports at one of their houses and hang out and stuff. But I don't have time to hang out with any of my friends, so
That must be upsetting.
it.
So you haven't really been able to keep in touch with your friends?
No, I haven't. A lot of them were not too happy when I did make the decision to marry him. We've only been married for like a year and a half. So a lot of them kind of just stopped talking to me, and he was a bit controlling, so I really didn't have time to really hang out. I mean, since we got married, he hasn't really been as controlling. He's just been doing whatever he wants. But then again, I haven't really gotten a chance to go out or do anything, so I don't really know how he would react if I was to do that.
Have you considered talking to your husband about maybe, you know, taking some time for you so that you can see your friends?
No, I haven't. I've just been so stressed out with work and money and the children that, like, just hanging out in general with my friends just didn't even seem like an option. I mean, now that you brought it up, maybe I do need to just get away from everything and just take some time to myself, because, you know, self-care is important.
Definitely is.
So maybe I'll see what I can do, and maybe I'll try bringing it up tonight and see how he reacts, and I'll ask for a night off, and maybe I can see if some of my coworkers want to go hang out after work or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be an option.
Now, do you think if he responds negatively, that will prevent you from taking that time?
It depends. I think if he just, you know, gets angry a little bit, then I'll probably just go, or if he gives me the cold shoulder. But, like, if he starts drinking and maybe throwing things and acting out in front of the kids, then I probably will just brush it off, because it's not really worth it.
And has he acted in that aggressive manner before?
Only once, and I don't know, even though it only happened once, it just kind of stuck with me, because like he could just explode like that at any time again. It did freak me out the first time he did, and I was really scared, and we talked about it, and he said, like, that will never happen again and everything, and it hasn't since. I'm just still scared that it will happen, so if it does, then I will just definitely not worth going at.
Now, you've mentioned this incident, and he has a drinking problem, it seems. Has he considered, getting help?
He doesn't really think that he has a drinking problem because he doesn't drink all the time. Although, I have expressed to him that even when you just be drinking, even if it's just once a week and you can't control it, the times you do drink, that's still a problem, but he doesn't see it that way. The only thing I did to maybe better the situation or look more into it, I did speak to his mom once about it, and she mentioned, that his father did have an alcohol problem and her father had an alcohol problem, and that it could probably be it. So I think, it's definitely in his blood. I just don't think it's something he's willing to recognize or do much about. I would really like to get him to see a therapist, or maybe go to AA meetings, or maybe do couples therapy as well, but I just needed to see you about myself for a minute, because I don't really know what to do about any of the situations that I'm experiencing right now, and it just seems like a big load of just negative things happening all at once. The kids, the money, too much stress at work, the relationship with my mom, I lost a bunch of my friends. Just seems like everything is slowly falling apart. And I don't know what to do, because we do have kids, and I don't want them to think that it's okay for their father to just sit there. One of them is a boy. I don't want him growing up thinking that, I could just be a guy that doesn't do anything. But if I do divorce him, then I don't want him to think that it's okay that, you can just give up on relationships and then we have to split them up. And they're still really young, and I don't want them to go through that.
Yeah, it's totally natural to want to put the child's best interests first. But, you're obviously dealing with a lot, and I think you also have to consider, what's best for you. So you mentioned having a close relationship with your mom, even if it is a little bit strained. Have you thought about talking to her about any potential options?
At first, I did. I really didn't want her knowing too much, because my mom is very judgmental and she holds on to things, and I am married to him. I don't want her to hold this grudge against him, or, have uncomfortable moments during the holidays, or she refuses to come visit. So it was definitely, I had to think about it for a while before I did, but I did bring it up with her, and although she doesn't like him, the idea of divorce kind of freaked her out, because it's just looked down upon, and there's a stigma, and, it won't look good, and my mom's all about that. And I don't know, my parents stayed together, and my parents worked everything out. I'm sure my mom didn't have to deal with this, but I'm hoping that him and I could maybe work it out, or maybe he can just snap out of whatever phase he's in and just start being a parent, because I need him to be a parent.
Well, unfortunately, our time is almost over. I think something to keep in mind addressing that last point is that every relationship is different. And I understand it's easy to, kind of compare yourself to your parents or to his parents or whomever, but I think it's important to also, remind yourself that I'm not them and my situation might be different, so maybe some different solutions would be good.
I think it went well, and I would definitely like to come back maybe next week, and I will let you know how talking to my husband tonight went.
Great.